Is resolved. The suspect is in custody. A soft lockdown has been lifted, but they are still here on the scene. The house here on Chestnut, just north of us, there's some police tape still around that house. 2 squad cars out front, a mobile command unit, and police inside. An investigation still ongoing here. Police responded to what they thought was a burglary at a house in the 800 block of Chestnut this morning at 7:30. They learned there were people in the house who hid in a bedroom after someone came into the home with a gun. Police got in, escorted the people out safely, and heard a gunshot, and that's when the SWAT team, fire department, and surrounding police responded to the scene. A heavy police presence was here all day. Area schools were put on soft lockdown. Now, police say they could see the suspect moving around inside the house, but they would not respond to commands. And then at about 3 p.m., police took someone out of the house. It appeared that the danger was over. This standoff lasted almost 8 hours. But it did end peacefully. Arlington Heights police say that the public is not in danger here. They haven't released any more information about the suspect, but the 2 people who were inside the house were not injured. Live in Arlington Heights, I'm Joni Lum, Fox Chicago.
Chicago's dance community in mourning tonight. 2 people with Ultimate Threat Dance Corps killed in a Bishop Ford crash.
Leslie Moreno just talked to the mom of one of the victims. I know she's devastated. Leslie.
Don Scott, good evening. Yeah, she is devastated and heartbroken. The entire dance community also feeling the loss as well tonight. We're being told that those 2 victims were 17 and 23 years old. We're told they were driving back home from dance practice when the vehicle they were in lost control and flipped on its side. Illinois State Police say this all happened just after 1:15 this morning on the Bishop Ford in the northbound lanes near 111th Street. We're told the SUV they were in lost control, flipped and landed on its side. 2 people were pronounced dead at the scene and 3 others had to be rushed to the hospital. Tonight we're learning that those 2 victims were members of the Chicago-based dance team Ultimate Threat Dance Corps. They're known as 17-year-old Bo and 23-year-old Hollywood. They were both beloved members of the Empire Dance Institute as well. We just spoke with Bo's mom this evening. She says she was tracking her son's location moments before the accident. She says when the vehicle they were in stopped in the middle of the highway, she knew there was something wrong.
In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you got teenagers, 111 police station, they didn't got stopped for something, let me get up and go. And he says, no, it's been an accident. And they're telling me it's 2 people on the ground and it's Bo and it's Hollywood. Gonna miss telling him it's school time. You know, you got to get up, and calling him 15 times to get up to go to school. Like, I'm gonna miss that.
Those 3 other teammates that were also in that SUV were told were ejected from the vehicle and they were rushed to the hospital, still in the hospital with critical injuries. We're told they're dealing with numerous internal bleeding as well as broken bones. We're told the driver has already had 2 surgeries and is dealing with some broken spine issues as well as still being in a coma at this time. We are being told that the cause of the accident is still under investigation. Family and friends are planning on celebrating Bo and Hollywood's life with a balloon release that is happening tomorrow and this weekend. We'll, of course, have all those details coming up tonight at 9. For now, we're live here in the South Side. Leslie Moreno, Fox, Chicago.
Certainly a nice start to the day, but boy, things have changed as the day has gone on. And Emily, I know you're tracking the possibility for severe weather to the south of us.
Yeah, it's mainly to our south at this point. So farther downstate, they've had several tornado warnings, actually a couple confirmed tornadoes as well. And now the strongest stuff that's beginning to make its way over into central Indiana. For us, we're on the northern side of this storm system so far. So we're going to continue to see some showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder developing here this evening. But the overall threat of severe thunderstorms is actually beginning to drop off. So I'm not overly impressed with our severe weather parameters here at home, which of course is a really good thing. But of course, we're going to be staying on high alert just to be on the safe side. Storm Prediction Center still has the majority of the area highlighted in a marginal risk, which is a level 1 of 5, meaning an isolated strong or severe thunderstorm thunderstorm could be possible. So we're going to keep the showers and storms around through late this evening into about midnight or so. And then after that, all attention is going to be turning over to very gusty conditions. We have wind advisories that are going into effect early Friday morning. That's going to last until 4 p.m. And then temperatures, we drop down to the 30s tonight, and it's really going to struggle to heat up tomorrow. Details coming up.
Bears fans would argue we've buried the lead from the Chicago Bears to the Hammond Bears. Indiana lawmakers advancing a bill that could potentially lure the team across state lines.
Tia Ewing joins us live from Hammond. You heard it all today, Tia.
Oh, we've heard everything, Dawn and Scott, when it comes to if this move will actually happen. You know, some people are under the impression that this is actually a play by the Chicago Bears to get Illinois to move in their direction and in their favor. In fact, we heard from the mayor of Hammond here, Thomas McDermott Jr., who says this is not a play at all, that this is the real deal. He says that the state of Illinois didn't treat the Chicago Bears like they are their pride and joy. And in terms of what the stadium plan would look like, he said that there would be property acquisition involved in all of this, and even Hallis Hall would be located right here in Hammond, Indiana. There would be a practice facility here as well. He also said that this new stadium would also mean all year-round entertainment for Hammond, Indiana. Now let's get into the thick of all of this. From Sky Fox, this stretch of land near Wolf Lake in Hammond, Indiana is at the center of this major development push that could bring the Chicago Bears across state lines. Indiana lawmakers have now passed Senate Bill 27 unanimously, and this sets up a public-private partnership model with the Bears, expected to contribute roughly $2 billion towards this project. Now, I asked Mayor of Hammond, Tom McDermott Jr., what does this mean for residents and their low tax bills?
Hammond is expected to pass an admissions tax that'll apply to everybody that enters the facility to help pay back this $1 billion. Lake County Innkeepers tax, so the people that come to Hammond and stay the night, that tax is going to go up. The Lake County food and beverage tax is supposed to be instituted, and I know county officials have been briefed on this, as well as a Porter County food and beverage tax. And I realize there's people that are struggling to make ends meet. But, you know, I think it's a good thing when property values rise, but unfortunately that also drags up your tax rate as well.
Still a lot of excitement inside the press conference. Even the Hammond City employees donned Bears gear. So what exactly does SB 27 do? That is the big question. It creates the Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority, a governing body that would acquire land, oversee development, and even issue bonds to help finance construction. The bonds would be repaid using revenue generated around the stadium district. And of course, you heard it, their taxes. 77,000 people call Hammond home, with average home prices between $160,000 and $200,000. And typical property tax bills here are under around $2,000 annually. Small business owner Bridget Warner says if the stadium happens, it is good news for her spot, Blend Nutrition, right in the heart of the city on Indianapolis Boulevard.
I just know with this coming in, people are going to be coming in days ahead and stuff like that. And it's just going to bring a huge surge to not just my business, but others surrounding.
Governor Pritzker has to give up some of the money and give up some of the incentives so we can keep the Chicago Bears in Illinois.
It would be super cool, but I do think the Chicago Bears should stay in Chicago.
Well, here's another place that the Chicago Bears were possibly scoping as a potential stadium site. That was Gary, Indiana. They were hoping that they would be the location for the Chicago Bears. The mayor there, Eddie Melton, releasing a statement of his own. And here's just some of what he had to say about today's news. Regional success benefits us all. Gary's progress does not depend on one situation like what we're seeing today. It does not depend on one opportunity. Gary's comeback is real. And keep in mind that Gary's airport is about 5 miles away from where we are standing right now here in Gary, Indiana, or in Hammond, Indiana, I should say. And in fact, the mayor of Hammond did address this whole Gary situation, talking about the airport. They have a private airport there. We did, obviously, when we were on the ground there, we toured that location where they want to bring commercial airlines there as well for everyday passengers. The mayor here in Hammond, Indiana, says that is something that the state is looking to ramp up right now in hopes of this plan all coming together here in Hammond, Indiana. And of course, you're going to hear more from Paris Schutz about the political aspects of this. When would this bill be passed? The mayor here in Hammond says that he believes they will get this done in this session that is set to happen next week. The final session, he believes it will be a done deal in February. So, of course, this is something we will all be watching closely. On the ground in Hammond, Indiana, Tia Ewing, Fox Chicago.
As for Illinois lawmakers, they say they were blindsided by all this today.
Parashutz is here to dig deeper into this never-ending saga.
It's like a Bears game that goes to overtime, and we're in overtime right now, and apparently Indiana has the ball in the red zone. The clock is ticking, and Illinois has to do something to get that momentum back. And the Bears saying Hammond is now their focus. Legislation in the Hoosier state to finance and own a new stadium in Hammond cleared a major hurdle. The bill passed out of the House Ways and Means Committee, and it would set up a public stadium authority to pay for the upfront costs and then have the Bears pay rent to eventually own the venue, with the ability to own it even sooner than that debt is paid off. Now, in a statement today, the Bears said, quote, "The passage of this bill would mark the most meaningful step forward in our stadium planning efforts to date. We are committed to finishing the remaining site-specific necessary due diligence to support our vision to build a world-class stadium near the Wolf Lake area in Hammond, Indiana." Now, Indiana House Speaker Todd Houston said he wanted a commitment from the Bears before pushing the bill forward. Today, apparently, he liked what he heard.
This is a transformational investment into something we do better than any other state in the country. And if you talk to people in this industry, they will tell you we are the best state in the country for hosting people. Now we're giving ourselves in a different area of the state an incredible venue to do just that with a phenomenal partner in the Chicago Bears.
Now, this comes as Illinois lawmakers say they were blindsided after a 3-hour meeting yesterday on the legislation that would give them, quote, tax certainty to build in Arlington Heights. In fact, they said they had an agreement in principle and were scheduled to have a hearing on it today. But then Governor Pritzker says it was the Bears and CEO Kevin Warren that asked them to cancel.
We completed more than 3 hours, my team did, of discussions with the Bears. Very positive discussions, and indeed mostly agreed on a bill that would move forward this morning. But they asked us not to move forward with it this morning because they said they wanted to tweak a couple of items in the bill, which were things that we were working with them on. And so to have a statement put out by the Bears, now they're saying to us that that statement is not some confirmation that they're moving to Indiana, but rather that Indiana had asked them to say that, you know, they're going to move forward with the negotiations in Indiana.
So they are moving, they aren't moving. Who to believe right now? What we know is the clock is ticking, and we're told by a spokesperson from the House Republicans in Indiana that Tuesday is the day they plan to advance that bill out of the House, and then the governor would likely immediately sign that. So that gives Illinois some time to figure out their game plan and to see if they can pass the bill here. But it's anybody's guess which way the Bears are going right now. Scott?
All right, Paris, thank you for that. Still ahead, the news at 5. A Hinsdale spa owner accused of secretly recording clients is now facing a slew of new charges. The owner of a spa in Hinsdale set to go before a judge tomorrow morning after police say he allegedly filmed clients using a hidden camera. Our Casey Cronus has been tracking this case and joins us live in Hinsdale with details. Casey.
That spa owner was initially charged with just 5 felony counts, but now he is facing dozens of charges. Prosecutors say over the course of several months, he secretly recorded vulnerable customers during treatments. A grand jury indictment filed this week reveals that 51-year-old Jason Wade Spencer of Texas, the owner of Reflection Spa, is now facing 64 felony counts for allegedly recording customers without their knowledge. Each page of the indictment identifies a different victim only by their initials. Prosecutors say the videos were apparently made between mid-July and late November of 2024. Located near First and Washington on the second floor of a commercial space in downtown Hinsdale, police discovered hidden cameras and a hard drive in December of 2024 after receiving a tip. It prompted a lengthy, year-long investigation. Police Chief Brian King previously sharing that the victims had no idea they were being filmed. According to the spa's website, it offers massages, facials, waxing services, and other body treatments. Today, its sign is still up, but the spa has been shut down since an arrest warrant was issued for Spencer in late December. According to Illinois business license records, Spencer also owns Reflection Spa's Lakeview location on Sheffield, which is still open. Police are not saying whether they've received any tips tied to that location or if they are looking into it. Spencer was set to be arraigned on the criminal charges tied to his Hinsdale spa earlier this week. He showed up, but his attorney didn't. That hearing will now take place at 9:30 tomorrow morning. We've reached out to Spencer's attorney for a statement in response to these allegations, but have not yet heard back. Reporting live in Hinsdale, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Cook County Prosecutor Eileen O'Neill Burke laying out a roadmap to charge federal agents in direct response to violent confrontations during Operation Midway Blitz. The new policy unveiled today develops a system to clarify the roles that cops and prosecutors will play in investigations, including bringing charges against federal agents accused of crimes during Trump's immigration enforcement. Now, locally, there were 2 shootings involving agents. One of those shootings turned deadly. And following the shootings in Minnesota, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office has been under pressure for failure to act. O'Neill Burke says with this new policy, no one's above the law. The protocol establishes clear, legally sound guidelines to ensure we have a responsible and effective path to pursue accountability. All right, let's again talk about what's going on outside, because while it is severe to the south of us, are we looking at rain in our future tonight?
We actually have a couple lightning strikes that have been showing up on the radar here around the Chicagoland area as well. They've been very few and far between, but we still have the chance of seeing scattered rain showers, a couple thunderstorms tonight. But again, the overall severe weather threat, I think the worst of it, that's staying well to our south, but there is a chance that we could be seeing a few more storms developing throughout the evening. Currently, you'll notice here across the region that the radar, there's not a ton taking place, but we do have some small storms that have developed throughout DeKalb County, and these are moving to the north and the east at about 20 to 30 miles per hour, and they are not severe at this time, but we do have some brief heavy downpours and a couple lightning strikes with those. Temperatures have dropped into the 30s and the 40s across the northeastern Illinois shoreline here, but inland locations are still sitting in the 50s, so we have a huge temperature spread. But all of us tonight, we're going to be dropping down into the 30s. Showers and storms are going to taper off around midnight. Then it gets very gusty tomorrow. That high of 45, that's around midnight. Then we drop into the 30s. Wind chills are going to be in the 20s, and then we have 30s in store for us this weekend.
Let's bring in 104.3 The Score's Matt Spiegel, who's actually down in Arizona at spring training. It's not the first time the Bears have put out a statement saying that they are shifting their focus to Indiana, but it does seem like it is the closest they have gotten to committing to Indiana, and that's because of all the meetings, the timeline of legislative sessions with Indiana closing next week and Illinois being in theirs, and then we hear about a 3-hour meeting yesterday that was happening between the Bears and Governor Pritzker and his team, and Kevin Warren wasn't in it. Like, why does it feel so much more realistic this time to you?
Well,
Or doesn't it?
Frankly, I don't know if it does feel more realistic to me. I may be in some of the minority there, but I've thought for a long time now that they're going to end up in Arlington Heights, and I still feel that way. I was offended and angry when they put out the statement late in the season, the most joyful season that most Bears fans have had in a long, long time. They put out the statement that threatened this and told us it wasn't about leverage, and we all knew that it was. And I'm back to that kind of feeling. I don't think they're leaving. I think this is a game. I think it is a manipulative way to try and negotiate and get more from the state. And I think that the governor and state legislatures are annoyed and angry at this. And in fact, I know they are. I think it's embarrassing to the Bears. It reminds us of what the Bears have been for decades and decades and decades. They have been a very poorly run, dysfunctional family business for a long time. This football season was not that. We all started to feel the sense of pride of having a first-class football organization with a coach that really changed everything. This is a reminder of how embarrassingly they do things. They've wasted 3 years. Even if they're just successfully using leverage now, it's ugly, and it feels reminiscent of all the ugliness we've seen from the organization.
We've got a lot more coming your way at 5. And across America, we're taking you out to Nevada, where a dog abandoned at the airport in Vegas. Don't worry, though. We got a happy ending for you. Plus, we've got an update on a program right here in Illinois helping clear medical debt for hundreds of thousands of people. And this is pretty cool. A dino discovery. They're calling this a unicorn, in fact, because we've never seen anything like it. Central Sahara to here in Chicago. And there's a great connection to our fine city. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.
Work as hard as you do.
With the search for Nancy Guthrie nearing its 3rd week, Forensic scientists are turning to family trees.
Yeah, they're trying to find a suspect by identifying potential relatives. This comes after DNA found on a glove near Nancy's home failed to produce any hits in an FBI database. Investigators need to limit how many times, though, the sample can be tested. FBI investigators have also been in contact with officials in Mexico about Nancy since she was taken from her home some 60 miles north of the U.S.-Mexico border.
Those intense moments happening on a Texas Delta flight. The airline says the flight was already in the air when this happened. The plane was supposed to land in Atlanta, but pilots declared an emergency and had to go back to Houston. One of the people the man allegedly attacked is sharing his experience.
30 minutes into it, I'm just sitting there, and a guy walks aggressively by me and aggressively back, and he bumps into my shoulder and starts completely wailing on my head.
I never thought that this would happen to me because we see videos like this all the time, people going crazy on planes, but I just never thought that I would be witnessing it.
The man was escorted off the plane, and the flight eventually made it to Atlanta. Houston police say the man was taken for a mental evaluation. No charges have yet been filed.
Well, here's some anger management in Florida for you. This guy terrorizing neighbors. He's out of jail. People living on Merritt Island say that he chased him around with a pitchfork, smashed security cameras with an axe. Prosecutors say, although he's out, charges are not being dropped. In fact, people have consolidated all the cases into one.
A woman in Nevada charged with animal abandonment and resisting arrest after she left her dog inside the Vegas airport. Investigators say she failed to provide the right paperwork to fly with the dog as a service animal. When she was denied a boarding pass, she left the dog behind and went to her gate. She told officers the dog had a tracking device, so it would eventually be found. And that's when police got involved, and the founder of a local dog rescue stepped in.
It was like 11:45 at night. We made him a promise that he will never be abandoned again.
This 2-year-old golden doodle was rescued after 10 days of being in animal control, and he was given the name JetBlue. Well, JetBlue has received the royal treatment, and he's ready for his forever home.
Okay, tough act to follow. We'll try. This is Pennsylvania. Workers at a convenience store helping save a woman who said she was being kidnapped. She ran into the store, blood on her face, torn clothing, said her ex held her captive with a pair of scissors. The clerk had her run to the back of the store. Then when the guy came in, a female employee chased him out. A customer helped lock the door. Police eventually chased the man down. They arrested him.
Some right whales were spotted in the Atlantic Ocean right off the coast of New Smyrna, Georgia, goodness. Florida, wrong state. 7 were seen on Tuesday morning alone. These endangered whales have been around the East Coast before, but it's rare. There are fewer than 400 of them left in the wild.
Well, self-driving cars may be in the cards going forward, but right now they're struggling with some real human problems. Waymo vehicles continue to expand all over the country, but maybe you didn't know this. If you get out of one and you leave the door open, the car is stuck. It cannot move. It's completely immobilized. So to fix it, Waymo is testing a new program. They're paying gig workers from DoorDash to, yeah, you guessed it, close the doors. Drivers get a notification when a nearby robo-taxi has an open door and can actually earn a small fee if they get to that car as quickly as possible and close the door so the vehicle can get back to the business.
Interesting. I took that like 5 times in December. It was pretty cool.
Did you close the door?
I did close the door, and the boys did too.
Still ahead on News at 5, for the first time in more than a century, there is evidence of a new dinosaur species.
We're hearing from a Chicago professor who led the team that made that discovery.
What's yours?
Now at the bottom of the hour, severe storms could be moving in tonight. Emily's keeping us updated.
But first, more than 3 years after a double homicide in Hobart, 2 men have been arrested.
Amos Krim and Saquon Kersey are each charged with 2 counts of murder and additional burglary counts. They are accused of fatally shooting Destiny Jackson and Nazira Muhammad inside of a Hobart apartment in 2022. Today, advocates and family gathered together. One of Destiny's sisters says the past few years have been an emotional roller coaster, but the arrests are a step forward in the fight for justice.
She was loved, she was brave, and she did not deserve what happened to her. We're grateful for the detectives, we're grateful for the Hobart Police Department, and we just want to make sure that they know that we're going to continue to fight. We're going to fight until we have full justice, and so that other families don't have to go through this. And every time it happens, if it happens, the other people know that the same thing is going to happen to them. They're going to end up on the other side of those bars.
The family also thanking a detective who was there today. They say he never gave up on solving the case. Still no word tonight on a motive.
New charges filed tonight against the husband of a woman found dead in the stairwell of a South Loop apartment complex. Adam Beckerink, formerly charged last month with first-degree murder in the death of Caitlin Tracy. He was hit with new charges, including concealment of a homicidal death and false reporting. Prosecutors claim he killed Tracy in 2024 by throwing her over the 24th floor railing. Adam Beckerink has been in the Cook County Jail since last month after being extradited from Michigan. He was serving time there for separate domestic violence charges. All right, again, a big focus tonight is the forecast because we're going to get rained on, and in the southern part of the state, things could be even more severe than that.
That's right. So we've already been dealing with some confirmed tornadoes that have been occurring downstate. That activity's now been making its way into central Indiana. Here at home, we have just scattered rain showers. Occasionally, we've seen a few thunderstorms popping up over in DeKalb County right now, actually. This is just south of Rockford. We have a brief little thunderstorm, just a couple lightning strikes over the last 15 minutes or so, and this activity is moving off toward the northeast. Now, this particular storm that you see here in northwestern DeKalb County, it's not severe at this point. I'm not expecting it to become severe, but we're still going to be keeping a close eye on any thunderstorms that develop here through about midnight, and then after that, it's going to be all about the wind. We have a wind advisory going into effect early tomorrow morning, lasting through the day. Westerly winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And that high of 45 on Friday, we're going to do that at midnight, and then we drop into the 30s during the day. Wind chills tomorrow are only in the 20s, so a little bit of a shock to the system after a week in the 50s and 60s. Back to you.
Well, if you've got a dino lover in the family, the Chicago Children's Museum has exciting news. A newly discovered species of Spinosaurus dug up in the African Sahara is going on display. Dr. Paul Sereno from the University of Chicago led a team of paleontologists hundreds of miles from the African shoreline where most of these massive fish eaters' remains are found today. Scientists are calling it Spinosaurus mirabilis, a unicorn of the dinosaur world.
This dinosaur is very unusual. It has a very low snout, unlike the other one, but then this is the astonishing feature, a crest that goes towards the sky. It's thin, asymmetrical, it goes towards the sky, and it's got grooves on it.
The new Spinosaurus is featured on the cover of Science magazine. The exhibit opens at the Chicago Children's Museum on March 1st at 2 p.m. Dr. Sereno will be on hand to talk more about this once-in-a-lifetime discovery.
Still ahead on the news at 5, medical debt for 500,000 people in Illinois is wiped out. Now state lawmakers want to help even more.
And Senator Dick Durbin highlighting new findings on the impact of Medicaid cuts to cancer screenings.
approve this message.
500,000 people in Illinois are projected to lose their health insurance. Senator Dick Durbin saying that today at UI Health, where he held a press conference about the $1 trillion in federal cuts to Medicaid. Durbin is sounding the alarm about how that will affect cancer screenings. The University of Chicago researchers found that it will likely result in missed cancer screenings.
1 million missed cancer screenings in 2 years. A mother no longer able to get that lump examined. A father who quit smoking but is worried about the lingering cough. Your sister, part of a growing group of adults in their 30s and 40s being diagnosed with colorectal cancer. These are examples. By throwing Americans off insurance, you're going to increase the risk of our neighbors will not have their cancer caught early. That is a serious healthcare legacy.
So they say the ask is simple. Protect and strengthen Medicaid coverage, simplify eligibility, and fund cancer screening programs that don't create new barriers to care, and vote.
Meanwhile, over 500,000 people right here in Illinois will soon get a letter effectively wiping out their medical debt.
Terrence Lee found out who made this happen and if more help is on the way.
Yes, State Senator Mike Simmons advocated for this, and yes, there's talk of adding more funding to this program, Dawn and Scott. Here's what's up. People all over Illinois are getting mail telling them those medical bills are gone. The state cleared over $1 billion in debt just like that. Now, to put some numbers to it, let's say you make less than $60,000 on your own, or around $125,000 for a family of 4, or maybe those bills are more than 5% of what you bring in. You're qualified, but it has to be from a hospital or clinic that's in this program. No forms, no applications. Now, here's how they did it. Illinois teamed up with a group called Undo Medical Debt. They spent $15 million to buy up those old bills for pennies and then wipe them out for people who fit the rules. And they're not dumb. Lawmakers are looking at putting more money in, so this could hit even more people next. This is personal for Senator Simmons.
I remember after my mom passed away in 2020, going through the apartment and finding old medical bills that she would have never been able to pay off. And I think about how angry I was at the time to think about how so many millions of people in our country experience what my mother and my family had to experience. And they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to.
Yeah, letters are hitting mailboxes now. It's a white envelope with the state seal and Undo Medical Debt on it. It'll tell you exactly what's been cleared. No letter in your mailbox. Don't stress, because there's nothing for you to do at this point. As more hospitals sign on, more bills could get cleared next time. We have all the details on our website. Scott?
It's good news, Terrence. Thank you. The Naperville Fire Department has a new life-saving tool. It is called the SAM Junctional Tourniquet. It is used to control bleeding in areas like the groin or the armpit where you cannot use a standard tourniquet. If you like the show The Pit, you've seen this thing in action. It can stabilize pelvis fractures. We spoke with the division chief on Chicago Live, who tells us the department is the first to use this device within the Edward Hospital EMS system.
This is primarily used in the military. Obviously, a lot of great equipment come from that area, and it's just a great piece of equipment. And you know, I can't take credit for implementing this. A couple of our members on the fire department saw a need for this, and you know, our department is extremely progressive. We got a lot of great thinkers and innovative people on our fire department, and they brought it to me, and I just thought it was a great idea, and we implemented it.
Yeah, in fact, nearly 200 of the department's paramedics have already been trained to use it.
So what's a Chicago fake spring without some storms? They're moving into the area tonight.
Yeah, they're also sending temps, unfortunately, plummeting. Emily has her full forecast after the break.
I'm Cassie Carlson. Coming up in sports, we get more reaction from the sports world on the Bears' focus on Hammond, Indiana. Is it leverage, or will Kevin Warren be the one to take the Bears out of Illinois?
At age 15, Tiger Woods became the youngest golfer to win the U.S. Junior Amateur Golf Tournament. He went on to win this tournament 3 times in a row. At age 18, Tiger achieved a record three-peat, winning the U.S. Amateur Tournament from 1994 to 1996. He was the youngest winner of the Masters Tournament at age 21. 2000 to 2001, he scored the Tiger Slam, holding all 4 major tournament titles simultaneously. The victories landed him on the cover of Wheaties.
The viewer. On Fox.
Let's check in on our forecast. A lot of colors on the map right now.
Yeah, so we are dealing with some showers, some thunderstorms across portions of the area, but the worst of it is actually farther to our south. So there's been already confirmed tornadoes in some portions of downstate Illinois, and the worst of it right now is now moving through central Indiana, but there's another batch that's beginning to fire up along that cold front. Now, if we zoom things in just a little ways, and I also want to show you the Storm Prediction Center's outlook here, where you see this orange shading and the yellow shading, that's kind of like the bullseye of where we have the best chance of seeing those strong to severe thunderstorms. So this is an enhanced risk, and then it's a slight risk in yellow here. And that's where you're seeing a lot of the warnings that are popping up out there this evening. If we zoom things in here at home, most of us are highlighted in a marginal risk. So what does that mean? That's a level 1 of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. And typically in a marginal risk, you have an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm risk, meaning we might have 1 or 2 pop up, but it's not going to be a widespread event. So we're still going to be watching for showers and storms to fire up this evening. But so far, things have been behaving across the region. If we zoom things in even farther here, you can see just some very light rain showers skirting by Jasper County, and then off toward our west, just south of Rockford, and it's actually moved through the northwestern sections of DeKalb County, now moving out of DeKalb County. We have some weak thunderstorms that are moving off toward the northeast. So this may clip areas like Harvard in McHenry County. After the storms come to an end late this evening, closer to midnight, then tomorrow it's all about more of a winter-like scene, and it's going to get very windy. So we have a wind advisory that's going into effect early tomorrow morning, lasting until 4 p.m. That's for westerly winds gusting as high as about 45 miles per hour. So futurecast, let's time things out. Here's our storm system bringing us that chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the evening. then tomorrow morning, we're going to be cold enough for some snow to be wrapping around on the backside of this low pressure system. So the best chance of seeing a light dusting of snow is going to be across the northern half of the Chicagoland area, especially closer to the Wisconsin state line. I don't think it's necessarily going to be impacting the morning commute all that much, but just know we could be running into at least a couple slick spots out there. We'll dry things out through the day. It stays very windy. We'll have wind chill temperatures tomorrow that are actually only going to be in the 20s. So it's going to feel like a shock to the system after a week in the 50s and 60s. Tomorrow, that 45 will be set around midnight. Daytime temps in the 30s. We spend the weekend in the 30s, and then we jump back up to the 40s by Tuesday and Wednesday.
About the stadium in Arlington Heights, do you view that as the sole focus of the organization right now?
Yes, that's the sole focus right now.
As opposed to any of the options?
100%. Our focus is still on the museum campus. Right now, we're going to continually work on that. Remain steadfast that the goal is to make sure that we have shovels in the ground in 2025. I'll tell you the focus now is both downtown and Arlington Heights. We are still extremely focused on Arlington Heights. All we need is property tax certainty.
The concern is that delay means greater expense.
Just a bit of the timeline from when Bears president and CEO Kevin Warren was hired to where we are today and all the stadium plan changes in between. The latest signaling the Bears are focused on Hammond, Indiana, near Wolf Lake. And this comes after Indiana's Ways and Means Committee unanimously passed an agreement to finance and construct a stadium. Now, the Bears released a statement calling it the most meaningful step forward in their stadium planning efforts and that they are committed to finishing the remaining site-specific necessary due diligence to support their vision. Now, Governor J.B. Pritzker said the Bears in Illinois met for 3 hours yesterday and made progress towards an agreement, but the Bears told the Illinois General Assembly to pause their meetings this morning. So it is posturing, or are the Bears moving across state lines? I asked 104.3 The Score's Matt Spiegel on Chicago Sports Tonight.
I don't think they're leaving. I think this is a game. I think it is a manipulative way to try and negotiate and get more from the state. And I think that the governor and state legislatures are annoyed and angry at this. And in fact, I know they are, because for the past 6 weeks, there have been direct and honest, forthright conversation about getting a deal done that makes sense for everybody, which is the Bears to stay in Illinois on the piece of property that they paid almost $200 million for and own. They own it. So that's been where I think this is going to go. And I'm sitting here today. I still think that's where they're going to go.
We are diving into the latest stadium developments on Chicago Sports Tonight. We have more from Matt Spiegel on how this reflects on the Bears, and our very own Paris Schutz breaks down the political side. That's coming up at 6 on Fox Local and 9:30 right here on Fox Chicago. Well, tomorrow is the premiere of Season 2 of the offseason, where we keep Bears talk going all year long. Plenty to discuss, including Caleb Williams on Max Crosby's podcast. And should the Bears trade for the edge rusher, along with what position groups they should focus on at next week's NFL Combine? I'll be joined by the Athletic's Dan Wiederer and Bears radio analyst Tom Thayer to break it all down. That is Fridays at 6 on Fox Local and 9:30 on Fox Chicago. Meantime, the Bears promote Jeff King to assistant GM. He scouted Tyson Bagent as a senior director of player personnel, and they have started to clean up their cap. They released linebacker Eamon Ogbong-Momiga. Meantime, in the Olympics, USA women's hockey wins gold after defeating Canada 2-1 in overtime, and the Bulls are back from the All-Star break, hosting the Raptors tip-off at 7 o'clock. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Discount Furniture.
All right, a final check of your 7-day forecast. Tonight, we have showers, couple thunderstorms that are going to be possible. And then tomorrow morning, in the early morning hours, we have a wind advisory going into effect that's going to last until 4 p.m. And tomorrow, we're looking at some snow showers around during the morning commute. So kind of build that into your morning commute time. Wind chill temperatures tomorrow going to be in the 20s. We have highs in the 30s this weekend, and lake effect snow is possible on Sunday.
Great. Emily, thank you. And thanks for joining us at 5.
Now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
Family Feud is next. We'll see you back here for the news at 9.